8 stages yan eh. So let me name them one. Attraction, and then comes the connection, then comes the acquaintance stage, and then comes the power struggle, value for value, then comes the acceptance because you accept their values, and then comes the not the commitment, consistency, and then wow, she's consistent and our values are same. Then you come the commitment and then intimacy. Pero ang nangyayari from the bar, when dancing disco, you have a little drink or two, the guy looks cuter or vice versa, the girl looks cuter dahil sa drinks, and then you jump to number 8, intimacy. So what happens? Pag nag-jump sa intimacy, maybe you get pregnant, and then the guy will even be shocked and say, might even after from being drunk says, who are you? And then many cases women gets pregnant and then they are forced to get married or being forced to give assistance. Magagalit na yung lalaki kasi wala na naman yung responsibility. That's where part of EQ is responsibility of your own choices and mistakes, and you should never depend on the guy.
Welcome to the Leaders Edge Talk Show. And today we have a lady who is well known. And in fact, she is an empowered woman who is dedicated to empowering other women. A very popular radio talk show host. And she has so many advocacies now that wow, it's too long for me to mention, but I know that there are certain advocacies she has that probably is more top of her list than others. And in fact, I know that many of you are familiar with her. And this is the celebrated Marlyn Cragg. So, Marlyn, can you fill in the rest? Because I know it's been some years since we saw each other, and you have always been, for me, top of the list as the really, really good radio talk show host for me. So,
Oh.
so Marlyn, what would be your what we call number one advocacy now?
Yeah, but first of all, thank you for being in your YouTube show. And hello, everyone who's watching the show later on. Yes, what I'm up to, yes, aside from being a radio anchor, which has changed from lifestyle to commentary news. It's called What's Up, What News, and What's Trending. So that's something new on our radio. It's 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock. And of course, my forever favorite and passionate about advocacy on empowering women emotionally, giving
Yes,
them emotional transformation.
yes, indeed, because not every woman we know, even though career women, they're professionals, and they obviously have a right to be empowered, but still, a lot of women need some kind of guidance or some know-how to really do bring themselves up to the current times. So, Marlyn, regarding our topic for today, which is so relevant to the times now, relationship management. Perhaps this is, of course, we are talking of right now, this is season 11, and Marlyn is now our episode number 3. So,
Wow.
Marlyn, we have been on air, or all right, through YouTube, and of course we have also 2 Facebook accounts. We have been for we're going to 2.5 years now. Yes.
Wow, congratulations. Yes.
Thank you. It's quite exciting because what we call the digital age has allowed us to invite speakers from different parts of the world. And And we're so happy that you have made yourself available, because I know that your time, you probably have a very tight schedule, and still you were able to make time for this.
Yes,
Now, Marlene, tell us
for
what
you
is.
always a time. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. So, Marlene, what is it that, for you, from your experience, your observation, what is it that makes some women more empowered than others, and yet they have a career, they seem to be in the right place, right time, and yet some of them feel less empowered than others. What is that small difference?
Yes, as we say in life coaching, IQ must be always be accompanied by EQ, or the EI, emotional intelligence. And the difference between people who have high IQ and very much empowered career-wise, sometimes they still have this a little bit of insecurity, the self-confidence of who they really are. And also, what brings them down mostly is their emotional weakness, which is towards relationship. As we know, the quality of our life is determined by the quality of relationships that you keep. So even how smart you are, you could be the CEO of a big company, and you could earn so much zero zeros on your salary. But then if your relationship is at bay, relationship with yourself, relationship with the people that you care about at home, and the people around you. So if that relationship is not working well, then there's a chip on our shoulder. And that's why sometimes that's the difference between women who are really emotionally equipped, and we call that intelligence, wherein they have this awareness and mindfulness to who they are. Who they are, it's not their name, but according to their values. They know very well their values, and they don't waver from their values. And then being aware of being what you do and how you are at what you do. So what you do is your hats, and then how good you are at what you do. So then if you know this very basic, who you are self-aware regarding your strength, your weaknesses, your habits, your likes and dislikes, of your character, your behavior, so then you feel more confident of who you are, and especially when dealing with people. So and also, when you have an IQ, when you add up with an EQ, these are the type of women or people who take ownership of their behavior and well-being. So they have self-regulation. So they have control of their emotions and of their thoughts and of behavior, And these women also move towards self-actualization. It's very important that you become a whole person when you are self-actualized or in the process of self-actualization. Just like what Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you are full in your hierarchy of needs. You've got your basic needs, you've got your safety needs financially and environmentally, and then you have your sense of belonging, which is very important because you do things for whom? Why do you wake up for in the morning? Why do you do all this success? For yourself only? No, we always do it for the people that we love. So that belongingness is important. And then that belongingness, of course, it affects us so much. Because if your relationship is not of quality, your life, your work is not of quality. So then you go to your self-confidence. So anything that is not complete on the basic needs, like you have a home, you have good environment where your home is. You have clothes, you have money, you have work. You eat good food, and you can afford real healthy, good things for yourself. That's part of the basic loves, aside from the roof, from the air, from the water. And even that, are you drinking the quality water? Are you drinking? Are you breathing in good air? So this basic hierarchy of needs is very important for people to be whole. So as we said, safety needs, that means financial safety, environment safety, and then belonging. And the number fourth is the self-esteem. Only then you build your self-esteem if you're complete on the three. And then comes your cognitive needs, and then self-actualization, line upon line, precept on precept. Now, the self-actualization is based on your needs. When you have already got a house, your actualization of your basic need becomes good, and you have clothes. So now with relationship, okay, then this is the most crucial, because as we said, the quality of life is based on the quality of relationship that we keep. So being mindful and aware of who you are, what you are, how you are, and what your needs are towards your self-actualization, only then you can give through meaningful relationship. As they say, falling in love, for example. So are we going to talk about the most common falling in love with another person? Yeah, it could be to your friends, or towards another person,
Yeah. By the way,
So
Marlyn, how long have you been doing coaching?
I started coaching 2020.
Especially as a life coach, because I want to ask if you can give us some examples without naming names of how some, in fact, some people are extremely successful in their careers, but then dismally fail in the relationships in their lives, and how it affects them, how the overall picture, their overall well-being, how that affects people. Have you encountered examples of, when you look at this person, oh my gosh, as in she's truly successful in every sense of the word, but because her personal relationships, there are chinks, or in fact, maybe really, really some broken relationships, and how it affects them.
Yes. Well, I have my one of my best friends. She owns the resorts in Boracay and in Palawan, and she owns famous restaurants in Palawan. Before she's really successful as to career wise, and she used to live with me because there's a chip on her shoulder. There's always a fight between the boyfriend and her, and she's been with this boyfriend for 11 years. So the successful she is financially, she was never happy. She was sick all the time, went to see the doctor. She's got pimples and rashes because of stress, emotionally stressed, because she cannot trust the boyfriend, but she loves so much this boyfriend that she will do anything. She's a slave to love. She'll do anything. And people think that when you are in love, that when you become obedient and do all the things for your man, you think the man will never leave you. That's not right, because true relationships is based on honor, a love, true love, honor, self-regulation, responsibility, trust, and faith into that relationship, and then the vision, a common vision for both. And if these 7 pillars of relationship uh, are not there or not complete, that relation will never flourish. And so at the end, after 11 years being together, I told her, and I even told the guy, tell me the truth. So I spoke to both. So I cannot see true love on the other side, a man's side. So then I encourage her to be open, go out with other men. And yes, she did. It's not easy. Sometimes you make mistakes because you're insecure. You just came from a relationship, so you thought you are trying hard to please a man again, or you don't even know how. Because at that time, I did not study yet about this relationship management, because that was many years back, like 7 years back. So if I only know what I know now, I myself would have been better with my relationship with my first two husbands. And so, but I was guiding her to give herself, what do you want? So then start looking for a man who suits what you want out of that relationship. You know, you want to be respected, you want to be honored, you know, and you want to have the same vision to where you're going, and you want to get married, you know, because marriage was never offered to her. So, but at the end, after several tries of dating guys, now she's happily married. And even with
Wow.
this guy, I was guiding her. I was trying to see the character of the guy, because there should be a match in a relationship. A sinner and a saint, it's gonna be very difficult, you know, or somebody who's a manipulator and somebody who's an empath. There will be so much, a lot of ups and downs and fights. So finally, I told her it should be based on love, and love, it should make your heart still. If the guy loves you, he never hurts you. He will never
Yeah.
lie to you, you know, because lying, when a man lies to you, that means he says, I cannot be trusted, you know.
Yeah.
When a guy lies, you're already saying you cannot be trusted, and that's already one of the pillar that will break. And when you break a trust, you break a heart. That's why there's a saying from I posted it on Facebook. I'm not angry because you lied to me. I'm just upset because I can no longer trust you. You know,
Yes.
I
Yes.
can no longer believe you. That's what
Yes. Yes.
that's what hurts. So going
Yes.
back to the relationship, actually having a love relationship is the most valuable, meaningful, and satisfying human experience. And
Yes.
yet we don't do much to do it.
Indeed.
Bakit kaya?
Because yeah, Marlyn, it is so true. I've encountered some well, some of my friends the same, actually similar to what you just mentioned, but this particular lady had to go to a lawyer, because she was married, but the well, the ex-husband now actually would really physically abuse her, and at least when she hired a lawyer, she also had to see a psychologist, psychiatrist. So she found or summoned up enough courage to be on her own, and she's so happily single again.
But it
And
takes so much
now,
time, diba? Because we women, we are always, we always have this love and hope that this guy will change.
yes,
Maybe
yes,
I'll be more patient. But we never change people. And before we
indeed,
go on to that eight relationship stages of relationship, so we don't make mistakes of having relationship with the wrong person. First, I would like to let everyone know that first, always tell yourself, ask yourself this question: can you be trusted? Are you
mm,
credible?
mm,
You know, are you competent in
mm,
doing what you promise or what your words is saying? Are you reliable? Reliable mean, will you be consistent to what you do and what you say? You know, especially the action should be consistent. And then,
yes,
of course, the level and degree of intimacy. You see,
indeed, indeed,
before you give yourself wholly,
yes,
actually you
yes,
should not give yourself wholly. Before you give yourself a part of yourself to someone, you should consider these things. Is he
yeah.
credible? Is he
Well,
reliable? How
yeah.
deep
What
can
you
he
said,
go into a
yes,
level degree of intimacy?
indeed. What you said is really a good shot in the arm for for a lot of women. By the way,
Yeah.
I'm curious about something, Marlene. If given a choice, should a woman first make sure that she has self-actualized before she's able to enter into a serious relationship?
That's a very, very good question, because I wanted to dwell on that, because the only way to be self-reliant and self-sufficient, that which you do not have, you cannot give, is to be whole. And that's following the hierarchy of needs of Abraham Maslow. All your basic needs, you must be already self-reliant. If possible, I keep on telling on my show, wag kayong mag-aasawa, don't marry if the guy has not a house to offer for you, or you have not built a home for you, because that's also one of those very basic. And also, if you don't have enough money in the pocket as a saving for both of you, because a woman must never depend on any man.
Yes.
Before a woman, us women, before we jump into a relationship and into the status of marriage, you must first make yourself self-reliant on those triangle hierarchy of needs.
I get it. Yes, yes.
Kasi, what happens if the guy, something happens to him? What will happen into that? If you are live-in and you are paying expensive condominium, and then suddenly, even the pandemic, everything stopped. So it's always nice to be self-reliant with financial, and that's the second need: financial safety and environmental safety. You know, because some people say, kuha na lang kami ng bahay mura dyan sa tabi-tabi. You know, but then, how safe will you be in that? And there will always be an angst and stress when your environmental safety is at the bay. And also when you have children, it will be scary. And then there will be no peace of mind, you know? So, and then yung only then jump into the sense of belonging. Anyway, yung sense of belonging mo is your parents, you know, the love of your parents, the love of your friends, and the love of your relatives. So be contented there, but then be self-reliant, educate yourself as much as you can, and self-actualize. Because some of us will get married, and then we have so much it might have been. Sana nag-aral pa ako, sana nag-masters pa ako, sana I went abroad. I should have gotten that job abroad, you know? So there will always be some regrets on our parts. But if you are whole, so you have climbed the ladder of biological needs met, safety needs met, financially, your sense of belonging with your love for your family and their love for you, and your love for yourself and the own. So pag meron kang tatlo niyan, the three, you're already self-confident. You got self-esteem because you are independent. You have the basic needs of a person. So you can stand up tall with your chin up that, hey, I'm made. So I have self-esteem. So now I can more self-actualize. And self-actualization is when the right person comes to offer you that love and relationship, then maybe you consider. But always remember, it should be a match. If he offers 100, then you accept the 100. It should be 100 to 100, 80 to 80. Because in a relationship, if you give 20, the guy will also give you 20. He will not give you more. But if you want 100% full, then that's what you should be willing to give to get that 100% full. And if you don't get it 100%, get out of that relationship. It's the wrong relationship.
Yeah. What is your opinion about women who really rise to the top and they find it difficult to make a choice? For example, the husband is away in the province and she's here, and she has to travel abroad many times because she has reached the pinnacle of success. Now, what will happen if there might be times that she will be called upon to decide which is her priority? In your opinion, will that be just her personal choice, or does she have to take other things into consideration?
Everything should be all on your personal choice. I'm responsible for myself. You are responsible for yourself. That's why before even going into the status of marriage or a deeper relationship type, you should have already considered all the Abrahamic muscle. He should also think the way you think, like he was after his biological needs met. He's also independent financially, and he's also have got self-esteem and self-confidence about himself because he has complete and his sense of belonging, having parents and people that love him and cares for him, siblings that cares for him. These are the things that you can see the self-confidence of that future partner of you. So dapat it should be set on core values, So what's important to him is, also might be important to you. Kasi yung core values niya might be different from you, especially from different types of status or ibang a foreigner, for example, coming from another culture. These are the very things that we should consider. Never that you have to just jump into a relationship and then later on you have that problem like, I'm sorry, but I'm climbing up. And part of the love is, if he loves you, he should really there for you, He should be happy for your success, for your climbing. But then again, let's go back to the pillars of relationship and love. Yung goal. So from the love, from the honor, see, you have to honor her decision or his decision. Honor, and then self-regulation, and then yung responsibility, and then yung trust, that you trust the person, her decisions, and then yung faith mo, that you have faith that this thing is gonna go, and yung goal. Are your goal going to the same direction? If not, with these 7 pillars, wala dyan, your relationship will be turbulent. So maybe let's go another 8 stages. Kasi itong 8 stages of relationship, it's very important also in your selection of your relationship, whether it's a friend or for intimate. So let's talk about the intimate. So we have the attraction. It always starts with attraction, di ba? Even if na friend, ang ganda niya, ang bait niya, ang bango niya, ang sexy niya, ang cute niya, she dress up well. So yes, you get attracted to that person. And then, so yan yung stage 1 attraction. But some women go to the bar, 8 stages yan eh. So let me name them one. Attraction, and then comes the connection, then comes the acquaintance stage, and then comes the power struggle, value for value. Then comes the acceptance, because you accept their values. And then comes the not the commitment, consistency. And then, wow, she's consistent and our values are same. Then you come the commitment and then intimacy. Pero ang nangyayari, from the bar, when dancing, disco, you have a little drink or two, the guy looks cuter or vice versa, the girl looks cuter dahil sa drinks, and then you jump to number 8, intimacy. So what happens? Pag nag-jump sa intimacy, maybe you get pregnant, and then the guy will even be shocked and say, might even after from being drunk says, who are you? And then many cases women gets pregnant and then they are forced to get married or being forced to give assistance. Magagalit na yung lalaki kasi wala na naman yung responsibility. That's where part of EQ is responsibility of your own choices and mistakes, and you should never depend on the guy. The guy, yung nag-usap kayo, kasali ba yung maprepregnant ka? Hindi, di ba? It was just an overnight thing, an overnight fling. So never jump from attraction to intimacy. Let's avoid that, girls. Let's although there are exceptions, I know some friends from attraction and went intimacy, but it's really a big love at first sight and they got married later. Very few exceptions lang yon. But let's go to the stages. So attraction. Okay, you're attracted. I don't know. It's all physical sense attraction yan. Okay? Kasi that's the way na, kasi pag walang attraction, you cannot move to the next stage. So then connection. You exchange numbers during that night, and then, hey, I want to know more about that person. I want to connect. So then you get dates. Several dates it should be. Kasi dito sa connection na yan, is you're starting to get to know each other, better. And you cannot know a person just one lunch. So That's why yung courtship na yan, sinasabi yung mga dates na yan, it should be several dates para to get to know the person. So try to connect and then get to know him better. At least naman know his full name, where he is,
Okay.
what he is of, and
Oo.
and
So,
then
yeah. Now, what if initially, yeah, okay, during the first few years, they were happy. And do you believe in what they call the 7-year itch? Because some couples really, really, they start off being very happy, compatible, and then somewhere along the way, after several years of being together, there's already a disconnect. So, uh, and yet they thought they knew each other well, and yet it's like somebody just, it's like they themselves don't understand, but there's no longer what we call a warm feeling of love or what. So do you believe that somewhere along the way that can still be patched up, or unless something's happened that will make it really a broken marriage? Because this has happened so many times, starting off happy and then later on being very unhappy. So what do you suggest to couples like that?
okay, I can just see that there was not enough time to know each other. There again, di ba? Yung power struggle, number 4 yun. After acquaintance, getting to know deeper about the family, who he is, what he does, you know? So, and then yung power struggle, sabi mo, oh, sige, okay na, I know him very well, I know the parents, I know the family background, and I think he's okay, his job is okay, you qualified them. Power struggle. Yung power struggle na yan, nakalimutan nila, ano yung values? Because you have to share your values and then you have to have your own boundaries. Yung boundaries mo is the only way to let people know how you want to be treated today, tomorrow, and in the future. And vice versa, the guy should also give his boundaries. Now, if it's acceptable to both of you, those boundaries, and you're gonna honor those boundaries, then fine. Kasi later on, yung sinasabi mo kasi, when two people suddenly after 4 years, it's because they did not develop respect. They didn't develop love, because love actually only develops during marriage. You know, this is when sacrifices come. Kaya yung pag sinabi niya, I love you. I love you for what? You've not even done anything for me. So, only then marriage comes the love. Eh dito minsan nagfo-fall na yung love. Na, ay, love ko ba talaga? Because now you're starting to know the person na di mo pala gusto yung ugali niya, the mannerisms, the way she eats, the way he eats, the way he smells, the way he snores, the way, whatever. Kulang yung time, because they say respect only, and through consistency and commitment and maturity. So, yung respect na yan, after time, you get to respect the person, even with the boundaries that she has set for herself or himself, and also the core values that he holds or she holds dear. And then comes the trust. Pag naggawa na kasing respect, time, trust, then really you are winning the heart of that man. At buo yun. Hindi lang superficial. And then when you win their heart, you win their mind. And then he tells you the truth of what he really thinks about life. That's why when you jump a marriage, you don't even knowing his full mind. I mean, you can never know the person's full mind, but time gives you to win the heart of person. So at the end, minsan, they fade out of love because di nila pinag-usapan yung responsibility.
Yeah.
And yung mga
Oo.
mga likes and dislikes ng isang person, the character comes out, you know. And then meron pa yung parents nakikialam and all that, you know. There's so many things that are so challenging in a relationship. It's so easy to
So,
say I love you
yeah.
and let's
How
get
about
married.
having different outside interests, like for example sports, you could be into swimming or some other activity? Do you suggest that each of them will have their own, what we call, different activities, Or do you suggest, would it be better that they do still things together, or will that enhance the relationship if they do things together? These are outside interests, well, of course, like sports or something that they do together that's outside of marriage or outside of their careers, but still it's enjoyable. It could be physical activity, something like that. How would that strengthen or weaken a relationship?
Yeah. Okay. First, relationship should be based on authenticity. Okay. So, as I said earlier, I'm responsible for what I want, for who I am and what I do, and you're responsible for who you are, what you do. Before we got married, we already do those things. Like me, I play badminton, I play tennis, and I do soccer and play. I have many activities, and those are the things during the courtship should be done during the acquaintance period. This is when you show your who you are. It's stop pretending. Sabi ni Socrates, be who you pretend to be.
Mm,
Kasi in the relationship in the beginning, say, okay, I also like basketball. So people are pretentious to the things, and you are advertising a different person, not you. So
mm,
yung if that's the sports and you don't like basketball, watching basketball, tell him, oh, it's a good sports, but I'm not really into it.
mm,
So then the other person, so what do you do for sports? Then you mention your sports, para alam niya. And then, it's so boring. But baby, ping pong is boring for him, or badminton is boring for him. He likes the fast racer siya. Ikaw, takot ka sa race. Sa race car na he drives so fast. So you have to tell him, oh, you know what? I'm really scared of that. So when I'm in your car, I want you to be very, how do you call this, mindful of your driving. So you don't have to. If
mm,
you don't like, if you like it would be your interest. That's why authenticity is important in a relationship. Then you join. You say, I want to come. Kaya lang, sometimes you want to come because you are curious who he is with. But it's good. It's nice to know who his friends are in these sports. Pero because you go there for that reason, yung intention, it's all about intention and motivation in a relationship also. If you got the wrong intention, malalaman, the other guy, your boyfriend, your husband will know, you only come because you want to know if there are girls there or not. They'll
mm,
know it. But if it's a real interest, like for example, motorbiking, like I have a friend who likes, she does motorbiking too. So they go with the boyfriend and the group of guys to go motorbike because authentically, with no pretend, she really loves it. So if you
mm,
love doing or going to the places where your boyfriend goes, or it could be sports or hobbies, then do it, but congruently with yourself, that you are doing it with the intention because you love it, not because you are just pleasing the person. We should be independent, you should not don't be a pleaser. To
mm,
men, here's another secret. The men's are hunters, and men likes to find mysteries in their girlfriends and in their wives. So keep that mystery about yourself, and don't open up too much, and don't give in too much, and don't be controlling, and don't be going holding his pants, can I come also, because you're afraid. Walang confidence yan. So like my husband before, he used to be, Mr. Krag used like to go on the yacht. And sometimes I get bored. I don't like the heat, you know. And then it's not me. So, but I trust him that he will come home. And there was no insecurity on my part that, oh, other guys might be bringing girls, which some guys bring girls in the yacht. But that confidence, again, that self-esteem, and then the
mm,
trust that you put, which is part of the pillars, is 100%. And if it's not, then you are in the wrong relationship. So kung there's even a mixed match of your feeling na, I love him so much, I'm excited, but I'm only happy when I'm with him. Pag he's not with you na, he travels and like that, then you've got this stress, emotional stress and pain that you cannot even sleep because you're thinking that he might be with somebody else. When a man loves you, girls, and you are in the right relationship, you will not even feel any insecurity wherever your boyfriend, your husband is going.
Well, I like that idea because um there are women who are thoroughly, I mean, in every sense of the way, professionally very successful, and yet somehow they're they find some insecurity in their relationships. And that's the reason why, Marlyn, let me just share this with you.
Mm-hmm,
I have some very highly successful female friends who
mm-hmm.
have decided to remain single because they told me this, all right? They're always suspicious that the men who will court them are after their money and their and just want to latch onto them, and in fact they don't have to work so hard because they are already there. I mean, they're at the top. So several of my female friends, and I have to say this, some of them are really thoroughly happy just being single because they probably tried some relationships in the past and it failed because their fears were confirmed that these particular men who courted them in the past were just like hangers on, so and up to this time I know they are still thoroughly happy, so they don't have to worry about having men in their lives. And that's one thing also that I can say. I have to say this, that there are some women who think that they have to get married to be happy, which is also totally wrong.
True.
Because yeah,
You must be you must
yeah,
be independently happy before even marrying him, 'di ba? Before him you were happy. Why
yeah,
now he makes you happier? Maybe a part of it makes you happier when he does something, but regardless that he's there or he's not there, you should always
oh,
be happy. Kasi yung independence ng being emotionally intelligent is you own
yeah,
your
yeah,
happiness. You know,
yes,
hindi mo kinukuha yung happiness mo. It's not, imagine maging codependent ka. You know,
yes,
that's the cause of codependency when you
yes.
depend on your happiness. And even if you want to make people happy, they said you are the
Oh,
most miserable person if you are, because you will always not make everyone happy because it depends on their moods and depends. It's their responsibility. Inherent yun sa kanila, what makes them happy. So you are not
oh,
the one who's gonna make people happy. They themselves know what they makes them happy. So yung friends mo without marriage na prefer
mm.
to be single. Even now, I like to be single now.
Yeah,
It's really
and
nice, but it's
honestly,
a choice.
and honestly, I can see they're not pretending. They're really, really happy. You know, they really are truly happy being single. And it's like, so it's a decision after all.
Yeah, but may I ask the question? The other single but mingling, meaning like
Mm.
I said one time, you know, when you are rich, you can buy men. And then tell them, okay, good night, you can leave now. I mean,
Well,
because
obviously, um,
relationship is still very
yeah,
important. But are they
right.
happy without men, you mean?
Yeah, yeah. I can see that for a fact. Now, I have this very good friend for many years, over 20 years na kami, very good friends. She really confided something to me, like last year only. She said she thought she finally found the love of her life. Okay, so they for a while they were like happy together. Yeah, they go vacations together, etc., etc. And then suddenly, all right, there was this one day, this guy asked, can you go with me to visit my family? And in other words, and then, is it all right if you will finance everything? Oh my gosh, the bubble burst because the guy wanted to have a paid vacation to go and see his family with her, but didn't have the money to do it. So directly told her, asked her, and then also not only that, he said, can we do it every year that we will have a vacation and also have reunion with my family. Oh my gosh, she
At her expense.
this
At her expense.
at her expense. So, she told me this. She said the bubble suddenly burst, and then she said, I have to admit that I enjoy your company, and that's the reason why we have been in this relationship for a few years, but I cannot see myself financing trips and reunions and stuff that you want to do with your family at my expense. I'm not saying I cannot afford it, but I do not think it's right. So if you need to do things like that, you also need to be able to do it on with your own finances, not at my expense.
Correct. I like
So
that.
yeah, yeah. So you know what? The guy said, in that case, then I don't think I can stay in this relationship. And she said, well, I'm glad we sorted it out. So she told me they broke up, no hard feelings because they brought it out in the open.
Which is
So she told me she was so happy. She said, I'm so glad I did not succumb to the temptation of getting married because she was about to, she was already beginning to make in her mind, okay? Although the guy never brought it up, but in her mind, she was already beginning to entertain ideas. And she said, thank God that he was the one who brought it up. And I said, she said, no, it's not for me. So at least for me, the pain was much less than if they had married, and it would be more painful.
And
Yeah.
also the bright side of it is the honesty of the guy. At least the guy
Yeah.
was telling what his
Yeah.
intentions and what he wants. And then so
Yeah.
now he find out, well, it's not acceptable, right?
Yeah.
So at least nalaman mo with the truth. Now you
Yeah.
can move forward to what is
Yeah.
better for you and for him, right?
Yeah.
So
I also I respected her and I admired her because she sublimated, because she was already getting so in love with him, but she was able to sublimate her emotions. She said, I made my head rule over my heart. And so now she's happy. I mean, it's like, okay, nothing bad happened. She said, it's just that for a while she missed him now. I get to miss him, but I know it would have been worse if we had kept that relationship at my expense.
yeah, you see yung kanyang Abraham Maslow hierarchy of needs, yung
Oo,
financial safety, wala eh. You know, so
oo,
mismatched sila. They are not matched
yeah,
together.
correct.
But I want
Oo,
to tell the girls, if a man let you pay, and if a
yeah,
man asks money from you and spend money for him, and well, let you spend things for
yeah,
him, he's not the right guy.
yes.
The guy, I still believe that the man should be responsible for their
Yeah,
own needs, you know?
indeed.
And okay lang sa ating babae when a man is generous. But then again, kung you don't have a deep relationship or an intimate relationship with a guy, never accept money from any other guy because there's always uh, an exchange thing for it. You know,
Oh, yes.
you can always say, "I'm sorry if he's not your boyfriend or he's not your husband. Don't receive money from any man." You know, because there's always an intention behind it. You know, and you might not be able to pay it in that way. So same with men, if a man, even especially you're not married yet, ask money, that's already a warning.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Nagkakaroon ng codependency, imbalance na yung kanyang life with regards to finances. And it's important that the guy has also be responsible to be financially stable, you know. And if a man, and there will always be insecurity when the woman spends more or she earns more,
Indeed.
you know,
Indeed.
because I've been through that, you know, and when you are already at the height of your career and you are known, and then you're known that you have money and you can afford, like it happened to me, it caused an insecurity with one of my relationship. And because guys still wants to be the head, the
Yeah.
the the man who is not to be controlled because you are the one holding the pocket, or you have the pockets for the money of the family, you know. That's why marami. And I'm not being how do you call this, looking down on men with no money, but
Mm-mm.
you know, a man who doesn't have money, who can spend for you and who will be dependent on you, just like these OFWs. What do you think happens? The women OFWs give the money to the husband, and you hear so much in Tolfo and in the papers. What happens? The guy spends the money, hard earned, for another woman. It happens so
Mm.
many times. Kasi
Yes. Yes.
anything that you've not earned with your sweat will never
Mm.
be appreciated. So
Yes.
imagine a man, bigyan mo ng pera, ikaw, you sit down at home and I give you the money. Men
Mm.
are not meant to be
Mm.
that way.
Mm.
So wrong
Indeed.
yun. Never,
Mm-mm.
never. And also never spend for any man. Lalo na sa kahit boyfriend pa kayo or courtship, because you want to spoil him. Never spoil a man with things, because when you give things, he might
Mm.
think na he has to do something about it. But if you don't
Mm.
give anything and let him be the one to
Mm.
give you the love, the care, the things, then you know for sure that he loves you. Pero pag ikaw yung nagbibigay and you gave more, then you won't know whether he does really love you or he just love what you are giving to him. Opportunities, gifts, you
Mm.
know.
Mm.
And sometimes you belong to a
Yeah.
society, then
Right.
he will make use of that society to you. So never
Oh,
give to any man. Tip yan ha,
yeah.
never give expensive gifts to a man. Never
Yeah.
impress a man with material things.
Yes. Amen. Amen to that. Now, Martin, do you have any announcements of forthcoming engagements that you have that you want to publicly announce here? You can do that if you want.
Well, at the moment, I don't have, except for my radio, which is 12
Okay.
to 1 p.m. every Saturdays.
Every
It's what's
Saturday.
up,
Okay.
what's new, what's trending, and I give commentary on trending news. So watch me there. And of course, oh, I'm upcoming. I'm going to start again. I stopped. I used to do live on Love and Possibilities, and I give on Facebook live, and I give tips on questions of most asked by women in love or hurting.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay. That's a good one.
I will send you the link. But I have the
Yes.
Love and Possibilities on my Facebook. I already made a lot of videos there, live videos, so they can
Right.
go watch there, because you can really learn something. A lot of life lessons there with regards to love.
Right. Oh my goodness. This has been a very fulfilling talk show for me, and being able to host you. In other words, the tables are turned. You and Barbie used to do the interviews. You interviewed Dino, you interviewed me, and other well-known HR people here in the Philippines. And I am just so glad that you have continued your talk show, even though it's now in a different manner. You have a different partner now. And of course, I also know Conrad. And I'm glad that you're continuing that, because you are very effective as a radio talk show host. And so I just want to let our viewers know that our episode number 4, coming up next, will be with Dr. Bernadette Manalo Arcena on mental mental wellness and focus on how to overcome drug addiction because some people, well, they never intended to, I guess, in the first place, and so now they need to learn how to overcome this. So thank you again.
Before you close, can I invite everyone that
Yes.
if you need some life coaching for rapid response, emotional intelligence transformation, I'll be there. If you have relationship management problems, I do coaching and also give workshops.
Yes.
So, and hopefully to become one of your Speakers Bureau
Oh yeah.
speakers for your
That's
corporate
already a
workshop.
done deal. That's
Yeah.
already a done deal. Effective 2023, you are already in our team. So, I mean, my gosh, I just feel so honored and really deeply, deeply delighted that you'll be able to join us very soon. So, thank you
Oh,
again, Marlene. And
thank
this
you
has
so
been
much. It's a privilege. Thank you so, so much to be in your show.
this has been a truly great time that we have spent with you. And I know that we will be connected even more in the coming days, you know. So, ladies and gentlemen, um, do click like and subscribe to the Leaders Edge by SEA STBI channel in YouTube. And you can also see us in the Leaders Edge um, talk show or Leaders Edge room in the and also Speakers Bureau Academy in Facebook. So see you there.
Bye-bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Learning is a never-ending journey with limitless vistas. Until next time, everybody.